Welcome back to Omazu TV. We're excited to have you here again. Get ready for another inspiring, entertaining, and value packed episode. Stay with us till the end. You definitely don't want to miss this.
Every morning, while the whole world was still asleep, Samuel was already awake, preparing for another day of sacrifice, responsibility, and love for his family. Not because he wanted to be, but because responsibility never sleeps. Every new day brought fresh burdens, and Samuel carried them all without complaint.
At 53 years old, every step Samuel took carried the weight of decades of hard work, sacrifice, and responsibility.
His body was tired, worn down by years of struggle, but his duties never rested. Every day he kept going for the ones he loved. Whenever his wife asked if he was okay, Samuel would always smile softly and give the same answer.
I'm fine.
For 30 long years, Samuel drove the same familiar route, day after day, through rain, sun, and silent sacrifice, never once giving up.
Rain or sunshine, Samuel still showed up every single day. No excuses, no complaints, just silent dedication to the life he had chosen for his family.
Nobody ever called Samuel successful. But every single day, many people depended on him, and he never failed to show up when it mattered most.
Every paycheck Samuel earned already had a destination before it even arrived. Bills, school fees, and responsibilities waiting for him at home.
School fees, rent, food, and countless responsibilities piling up every month, all resting quietly on Samuel's shoulders without rest. The dream Samuel once held so dearly slowly faded into sacrifices as he traded his own hopes just to secure a better future for his family.
His son Tunde only saw what the family lacked, never realizing the quiet sacrifices behind every single effort his father made.
He wished for things his father could not afford, not knowing that every no from Samuel came from love, sacrifice, and silent struggle.
Why can't we have a better life? Tunde often asked, not knowing that his father was already giving everything he had, just to keep them going.
Samuel never defended himself. He never argued, never explained. He just carried the weight of their expectations in quiet silence.
He simply carried the burden in silence, letting his struggles speak in his tired eyes, while his words stayed few but his sacrifices remained endless.
Tunde mistook silence for weakness, not realizing that behind that quiet was strength, sacrifice, and a love too deep to be spoken. I'm fine, he would say, even when his body was breaking and his heart was carrying more than he could ever express.
But every night told a different story. A story of sacrifice, hidden pain, and a father quietly giving up his own dreams for his family.
Inside that drawer lived the dreams Samuel never spoke about. Dreams he quietly set aside, just so his family could move forward.
Plans for businesses he never started, ideas he once believed in, slowly abandoned as responsibility became his only priority.
Places he never visited. Not because he didn't want to, but because every dream of travel was replaced by responsibilities he could not escape.
A future he quietly gave away. Not out of weakness, but out of love, choosing his family's tomorrow over his own dreams.
All for the people he loved most. Samuel gave everything he had, never asking for recognition, only hoping they would have a better life.
Then one day, everything changed for Samuel. A moment that would turn years of silent sacrifice into a painful reality he could no longer ignore.
He's breathing, get help!
Samuel collapsed at work, in the middle of another ordinary day, his body finally giving way after years of silent sacrifice and
It's
exhaustion.
coming, hold on.
I'm tired. Rest now, we're here.
The diagnosis was serious. A harsh reminder that Samuel's body had been breaking down quietly for years without anyone truly noticing. The diagnosis was serious. A harsh reminder that Samuel's body had been breaking down quietly for years without anyone truly noticing.
He needed surgery. Urgent, life-saving surgery. But the reality of how it would be paid for made the situation even heavier.
cost was more than Samuel could afford. A number that stood between him and survival. Heavier than all the years he had already worked.
And he knew exactly what that meant. A painful choice ahead, where sacrifice would once again decide what part of his life would continue.
He had enough money for only one thing. And in that moment, Samuel understood that whatever he chose, something precious would have to be lost.
Then one afternoon, Tunde found the envelope, unaware that inside it were the hidden sacrifices and untold dreams that would change everything. Curiosity quickly turned into shock. With every page he read, David discovered a side of his father he had never truly seen before.
For the first time, Tunde saw his father's lost dreams. Dreams that were quietly buried so his children could have opportunities he never had.
A single sentence broke Tunde's heart. Because in those few words, he finally understood the depth of his father's sacrifice and love.
Everything Tunde thought he knew was wrong. What do you mean?
And for the first time, he saw the truth behind his father's silence, struggle, and sacrifice. His mother finally told him the truth, and with every word, Tunde's heart grew heavier as the reality of his father's sacrifices became clear.
Your father gave up everything for us.
His father had chosen his future over his own life. A sacrifice so deep, Tunde could barely breathe as the truth finally sank in.
Regret hit Tunde harder than anything he had ever felt. A crushing weight in his chest as he realized all the love he had misunderstood.
You never understood.
Every complaint Tunde once made now felt like a wound, each word echoing back as pain as he finally understood his father's silent sacrifice.
I'm sorry, Dad.
He finally understood what love truly looked like. Not in words or gifts, but in silent sacrifice, pain endured, and a father's endless devotion.
Thank you, my son. God bless you.
The community came together to help. People who once knew Samuel in passing now united to support the man who had always supported her others.
Your papa.
Yes, dear, we are.
People whose lives Samuel had quietly touched came forward one by one, sharing how his silent kindness had changed their lives without him ever asking for anything in return.
Before the surgery, Tunde finally said the words he should have said years ago. Words filled with regret, love, and deep appreciation for his father.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
It's okay, my son, I know.
Dad, I'm sorry.
You don't owe me an apology, son, Samuel said gently.
You don't owe me an apology, son, but I feel like I do.
Because in his heart, love had never kept records, only sacrifices made in silence.
Thank you for everything, Dad, Tunde said softly. Finally seeing the weight of every sacrifice his father had carried in silence for years.
For years, Samuel carried his pain in silence, but now, as tears filled his eyes, he finally saw the love and gratitude he never expected to receive.
At that moment, Tunde finally understood every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every dream his father gave up.
Thank you, Dad.
And through tears, he held the man who gave him everything.
My son.
Hours later, the surgery began. As the family waited in silence, holding on to hope, prayers, and the fragile thread of Samuel's life.
Then came the news everyone had been praying for. A moment of relief that broke the silence and replaced fear with overwhelming gratitude.
The surgery was successful.
And with that moment, a new chapter began for Samuel and his family, filled with hope, healing, and second chances.
Thank you, doctor.
After hours of fear, prayers, and waiting, the news finally came. Samuel's surgery was successful, and tears of pain turned to tears of joy and gratitude.
Thank you, doctor.
With every step, Samuel grew stronger. And with Tunde by his side, he finally saw that his years of sacrifice had not been in vain.
Today, Tunde walks proudly across the university campus, carrying books in his hands and the priceless sacrifices of his father in his heart.
Years after the pain and sacrifice, father and son could finally laugh together, not because life was perfect, but because love had healed what silence once hid.
You too, my son.
As the sun began to set, Samuel stood quietly and smiled. Watching his son become the man he had sacrificed everything for.
Side by side, they walked into the sunset. A father's sacrifice, a son's gratitude. and a legacy of love that would live on for generations.
Behind many successful children stands a father whose sacrifices were never seen. So if your father is still alive, don't wait. Thank him today, from your heart.
You've reached the end, but the journey continues. Thank you for watching Omazu TV. Subscribe now, tap the notification bell, and enjoy more inspiring content. See you in the next video.